Core CPI inflation is back above 3%. PPI is at its hottest since March 2022. Wow. Didn't realize it was that hot. That 900 level, man, was fire. Nice trade, Yuji. Thought you were done. Almost done. Just one more. Ah, different account. Good. Yeah, hell, that was fast, man. You had to be ready and watch. Yeah, I missed the good one yesterday. I was futzing around with the Dow, looking for the fade, which eventually came, and I missed the VWAP bounce on NQ. That's right. We're making money. Yeah, they do get front runners a lot of times. We got one. I don't know if it was yesterday or the other day. I didn't quite get to VWAP. Big bounce. Then the next time it came down, it flushed right through it. That was all front runners doing that. So that is the textbook VWAP bounce. We have to be in price discovery. It's got to be a trend day. Clear, strong price action outside the bands, trading out there for a while. Then when it comes back to VWAP, that's the textbook VWAP bounce. Everything else is just a VWAP scalp out of the advanced playbook. Any other touch of trade off of VWAP is a advanced playbook trade. It's not the core setup VWAP bounce. I think a lot of people confuse that. Hey, everybody on YouTube, welcome to the channel. Trading the VWAP Wave System. We've had a good, solid morning so far. A lot of good trades. We just had an epic VWAP bounce on NQ off the 900 level. Went up about 40 points, 160 ticks from the bottom there. And now we're starting to form this distribution here on the profile, right? We're still trading in here. That was a test of the value area high. So we might get some balancing before we break out to either side at this point. We're also dealing with upper band on the week. You know what we should do is, I've been forgetting to do this. I've been wanting to drop previous days RTH VWAP Look at that. See that? Logger? We seem to be holding beneath yesterday's. Maurizio. Buenos dias. Got another good fade value extreme there. So if we break above, this 975 level is really interesting. We didn't quite get there with that last push, but I'm expecting us, if we do break higher, that we're going to have some difficulty up there. So I'm going to draw a little. It's an area of interest. Oscar, I don't blame you. So this is, we trade based on auction market theory. Price is either in balance or price discovery. We use a bunch of different auction tools to be able to tell us what price is doing and why it's doing it. We use the VWAP with standard deviation bands anchored to different points in time. We use the volume profile, and we use an initial balance. Those are our three main tools to help us decide if we're in balance or price discovery. And then based on the market condition we're in, we choose a setup based on, we have 4 core setups and we have 4 advanced setups. So 8 setups in total. And if you combine these 8 setups with these tools, there are lots of setups each day for day traders. It's a great day trading system. It's also a great scalping system because there are so many setups and levels. We have 3 different tools, and all 8 of these setups appear on all 3 of the different tools at different times. So create some really nice trading opportunities. I just went through this with the Discord members, but I'm going to go through it real quick for YouTube. I just locked in a $11,000 plus payout on Topstep. These are my 5 accounts. I just took a payout out of this one, 2,500 bucks. And this is day 5, and these XFAs for another 23.30. And this is my Topstep dashboard. This is the 5 I'm now eligible for, 2380 times 4. That's almost $10,000 alone here. And here is the 2250 I just took yesterday. So over $11,000 from Topstep, just secured, and I just passed a take profit trader evaluation. So I'll have one of those to trade as well. The reason I'm going over this is to give you confidence. There it was. That's what I was looking for, Sonny, on gold. Break a IB. There it is. Now, this is price discovery. Now, is this going to be excess price, or are we going to keep going from here? Because we could have a long way to drop from here. We can go all the way down to 63. Oh yeah, look at that. Big sell-off, right? So next level is going to be 80 on gold. All right, that's Tuesday's low, and it's also the point of control on this distribution from Wednesday the 30th. And then we kind of have this area here. Which is the low of that distribution. So I do expect us to probably revisit 80. And if we break through that, 76. And if we break through 76, that could take us all the way down to 64. Anybody take that gold trade? I gave you guys a heads up to be looking for it earlier. So Kevin asked, do I leave my VWAP at Globex opening for the day or re-anchor to the New York Open? So I have all, currently I have a few because of the news candle, right? So I always have the Globex on. And very often, especially recently, we've been adding more New York Open VWAPs. Right? And we have a third one from the news candle. If you watch my anchored VWAP video, let me pull that one out. There's a lot of good opportunities. So anyway, this is my 5 top steps. Just taking out $11,000 plus payout today. So things are going well over here in VWAP Wave System land. And we'll be interviewing one of our successful students today, who just also pulled out another $10,000 at a Topstep. So stick around. That will be released this weekend. All right, retest to RTH VWAP here. Let me get you that video, Kevin. If you're in the Discord, I highly recommend you to join the free Discord. It's in there. All this stuff is in there. If you haven't been through these videos, you should go through the videos. Spent a lot of time putting these videos together for you guys. Okay. So we did make a lower high, right? We weren't able to break out. So this is a bit more of a return to value play. And we'll probably revisit value area low again, is my guess, down at 900. If that holds, we'll go back to point of control at 914. If we could get past that, we'll go back up to value area high. If we break this low volume node, we can go easily back down to 68 and then 52. Held at RTH VWAP. There were some good setups, for sure. Scalping the VWAP wave is amazing, Stephen. I concur. Right? That's a pretty good sign it might hold again, right? But we could flush and reclaim. Not out of the picture. Could go down to this news candle one down here at 886. So we'll see. Close that gap on that news candle, and now we're selling off again. Yes, Kevin, we absolutely do use the slope of the VWAP. We also use it as a sign of balance and when to fade the value or extremes if it's flat. A lot of this stuff I do go over in the videos. It's like it wants lower to me. GC still very weak. Very choppy here. Obviously, we're at point of control. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to get a drink, guys. I'll be right back. Didn't quite get there, did it? That was kind of a fade value or extreme on yesterday's VWAP, wasn't it? Taste of the Rockies. Starting to feel like higher, isn't it? After that hold of VWAP. Now that's a back test of the upper band there so far. We could break it out of this upper bands. So this is kind of our Oscar is short MNQ at 927. Well, you're in the red now. So, we're above all of the VWAPs. So if you're taking a short, you want to be short much higher at the top of the distribution. You're pretty much short right in the middle of it, which is 50-50 odds at best. You want higher probability trade locations. So if I were going to short, this would be the place. Looks like it wants to grind higher, doesn't it? So next area of interest is up at 70, 970. So the value area low, Oscar, on that distribution, we already went to. It was at the bottom of this distribution, right? This is the value area low. This is a whole nother distribution. If you're looking at this, you're missing the whole picture of the low volume node in the middle of it all. Awesome, Oscar. Yeah, there's a lot to learn. It's not easy stuff. I know, on first look, it seems simple. Once you really dive in, it's a little more sophisticated than you realize. Nice, Carlos. I'd like to see it go a little higher for a short. Interesting on the CVD though. Put in a lower high there, while price made a higher high. $9.50, that's right. Price has a memory. I don't know. Thinking. Oh. Chop, chop, chop. Chop suey. Nope. You were long from 32.50. Rising wedge, yes. It looks like it broke and rejected, Michael. So that looks like a rejection to me. Nice, Carlos. That's good stuff right there. Retail wants to sell, given the highest inflation reading in 3 years. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I didn't realize it was that high. I mean, I knew it was high. I didn't realize it was since 2022 high. Not only do we pay income taxes and tax on everything else, but we pay tax in the form of inflation. Isn't that wonderful? Nice save. Good trade. Nice FX 20. Good trades, guys. Good spotting the setups here. So you can clearly see we formed a clear distribution on the session and on the regular trading hours, right? So now we have value area high and we have a value area low, and we can expect to trade in this zone until we break, accept, and leave in either direction. We could even sit in here for the rest of the session. Yesterday, I know yesterday seemed like a big move day, but look, this is crazy. We started selling off at 9:55. By 11 o'clock, 1 hour later, we were in the distribution at which we spent the rest of the day. So we only trended for 1 hour yesterday. So if you're a trend trader, you're trying to catch big moves, you're going to be really disappointed. If you didn't catch that move in that 60-minute window, you were done. I mean, it was a 200-point range. But also, you know, what's VIX at? It's probably a little higher now. Nope, still 14. So you got to take the volatility when you can get it. And that's the big reason I traded pre-market this morning, because we had some nice volatility, especially after that drop. You know, we formed this distribution, nice trades. You get the continuation in each rotation to each side. It's a lot easier to scalp when there's more volatility. This is starting to look like a rising wedge now in Q. On the 5-minute. So it looks like we're probably going to go higher. Yeah, it's not I mean, there's definitely a key level here, but that doesn't mean we're not going to break higher. Morning, Roadrunner. Welcome to the party. We've been trading for an hour so far. I'm actually pretty close to being done trading. I'll of course stick around for another hour here. We'll talk through the market and see what setups we get. We have group coaching today at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So mark your calendars. 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Group coaching in the classroom. All right, we have an initial balance. You can try the Madonna trade. Fade at 960 for a scalp. I have some orders in up there. See if they get filled. The Madonna trade is the first fade of the test of the initial balance, high or low. First test for a scalp. Okay, I got filled. Oh, looks like it might blast right through. There we go. Nice. Worked. The guaranteed 5 points. 20 ticks. Nothing crazy. All right, here's actually another interesting level I've been watching. So let's see how we do up here in the 70s. Going right through it. Doesn't care at all about my level. 8 right through it. Is this a rejection? Maybe I was a little low. Trade worked out. Not as nice as I had hoped it would be, but so it's a pretty stacked level up here. This is like the value area high on today's distribution, yesterday's distribution, and a composite between the two. So I would expect a little bit of a fade here, but you know, they might have something else in mind here. You know, you might get a little bit of a bull flag here, so that, you know, that's a scalp if you get in at a good level. You get 5, 10 points. It already sold off. You got in around upper 70s, you could have caught almost 10 points. Nice. Nice. All right, so that's 15 points. Back to IB high almost. Nice, Chuck. Talk about a fail breakdown. Look at that chart on NQ. Right back to highs. See if it breaks IB high. We can go back down to 50, 950. Only 20 points from here. It does look at a lot of this selling as being absorbed though. So based on the CVD, it looks like higher. So good job. Anybody took their profits on that trade. We'll see what happens. I do like higher. Looks like they want to push it through based on the CVD. Trying. It's going, CVD is going down, price is going up. That tells me they're supporting the bid. There it goes. New high in the day. We're approaching 24,000 now. You guys cover your shorts? I gave warning. Good. A lot of selling just came in there. Dave Trader, most likely the Fed's buying this up. The plunge patrol, plunge protection patrol. Well, the bid is supported, clearly supported. Sellers have stepped in here. Trying to accept up here it's trying to leave this previous value area, right? If we're going to talk about auction market theory, right? This is the balance area right here. This is value. Okay. We broke above it. Now we want to accept. Otherwise, it's excess price and we'll go back return to value. I think if we get to 24,000, that would be a good sign of acceptance, and we're probably going to stay up here, and if not, go higher. Nice, Ian. First time trying the VWAP Wave System. He's up $260 so far. Good job with micros. Kind of like this highlighter. I should have used the highlighter because you can see through it, so it doesn't cover everything. Kind of like that. All right, so, the next low volume area is essentially up here. That's the 50% extension. And then this can be a new value area that we trade in. become very grindy, though, at this point. It's kind of grinding out of this value area. It happens. It doesn't always break through fast. Sometimes it grinds through important levels. What inflation? It doesn't matter that I'm paying $50 for a hamburger. Took my wife out to dinner for a hamburger. Freaking hamburger, guys. And a shake. It was like $60. No, I'm not joking. I also live in South Florida. It's extra expensive here. There it goes. 24,000 next. We're back in business. PPI like that's a nothing, right? 2022, we went to Hades on that news. Today, it was very good, Ali, actually. It was a nice burger spot, but man, if I'm gonna pay $50 for burgers, it damn well be good. And it was. And the shake was also really, really good. What was it? Habit Burger? No, it wasn't Habit Burger. It was a little fancy CB Burger or something like that. Wow. I don't know if I would front run this short. I don't see another clear level until maybe, whoa, maybe here. And then we got 23, right? Things going all back to all-time highs today. We're trading over 24,000 now. This is squeezing the shorts. People getting liquidated. Yeah, shorts are getting liquidated for sure. Stubborn ass shorts. I say that with love because I am one. I've just gotten better. I'm a recovered bear, a recovered nonstop shorter of every strong move. Yeah, so we're at 24,000. We went down to 800. It's a 200-point move, down and up. Ali, NQ has always been my best market that I trade for my scalping. I'll go back and forth. ES, NQ, I'll trade some gold. I've traded oil and copper on stream. But a majority of my time I spend on NQ. But it doesn't really matter. NQ and ES trade together. So very similar setups. Takes time, Anthony. Takes work. Took a long time for me to get over it. Every strong move I wanted to short. You get squeezed enough times, you take enough big enough losses, you start becoming willing to change. The pain is a great motivator. I'll still short a good strong move. I did it on the Dow yesterday. That was an extreme move. So, Ellie, I don't know if I answered your question, but I tend to, my scalping, the oscillation that NQ does at my key setup levels is much more favorable than a thicker market like ES. All right, sellers have entered the chat. JD, I agree with you 100%. JD says, not suggesting I know better than the market, but the PPI news is not good. Still thinking they could be bringing this up just to drop it hard today or tomorrow. 100% agree with you. This could be it right here. That could have been it. That could have been the poke above 24,000, squeeze out the early shorts. Nice, Tony. Back in the game today, I see. Guys, I'm going to look at a puppy today. I'll show you a picture. It's a mixed breed. I think it's got some, I don't know, terrier and poodle in it, something like that. It's in a rescue that we support. We donate a lot to. I know, Tony, I love cats. I'm actually a big cat lover. Is she cute? Video down? Oh, you know what probably happened? Probably me posting the picture. I posted the picture from my phone. That probably screwed everything up. Yeah, I love kittens. I love cats. Huge cat lover. Well, I'm an animal lover in general, but man, I love my cat. Love my cat. All right, so back at this interesting kind of volume shelf area right above the low volume node we have there at the IB high. I mean, this is going to be a good long spot, right? How low do we go? It's hard to tell, right? So if you want to try and scale into something long here, this is kind of the spot to start. Yeah, you can get more out of this short for sure. I mean, we still have another 20 points to IB high. But we're starting to see a lot of confluence now with the upper bands on all of the VWAPs. So I'm expecting this area to be a buy spot somewhere in here. All right. I don't want to call it to the tick, but I'm gonna assume there's gonna be a long in there somewhere. JP. I don't envy you. Stim. Yeah, Toasty. Yep, that's what we're watching. So it's kind of a big zone, right? We got 74 probably down to 6. That's a 15-point zone right here. I'm actually going to get rid of this. I mean, we'll wait for for a real buying to step in. Some buying right there. That's some real work. I don't do work like that. All right, flush to that level. Now, well, not really. Could go lower. Let's see if it finds support here. If not, man, we can go all the way back down to 930. Then 915. Okay, I'd be high. I'm gonna take one right here. I'm long at 60. Well, melting right through it, isn't it? Is it gonna flush? Looks like a flush. All right, out of that one. All right, well, now we're almost back at point of control. So that's that. Just like that. Get back some of my profits on that one. All right, made it back. Didn't I have a gray box here before? Let's see if I can put it back. Yep, look at that. Shouldn't have removed it. That's exactly the level we went to. My average hold time? I don't know. I mean, it's not very long. More of a scalper. Two minutes and 23 seconds. All right, so we got the anemic bounce, back tested, IB high. And we can go down to nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm able to let's take a look at that again real quick. So 2 minutes, 23 seconds, about 50-50, short to long. Best trade 837, worst trade 297. So nice risk to reward. My risk to reward also winds up being around 1.5. So a little better than one to one, but not quite 1 to 2. Very pleased with an 80%, 72% win rate. This is over the last 100 trades. Taking my payouts over here. Trying Wise this time. Have you guys ever tried Wise? You don't have to pay the 20 bucks if you use Wise. Not that it's a lot of money. It's 80 bucks. 80 bucks is a burgers for me and my wife. So I should Topstep to get it. All right, here it is, guys. The grand total. So I think it's just shy of $12,000 requested. Now they take their 10%. All right, I'll let you guys know when that clears the bank or Wise or whatever. Look how quickly they approved it and removed the funds. Funding approved. Literally within a minute, they took the money out of my account. How cool is that? I mean, I wish all firms did that. Why isn't everybody doing this? No Lambos for me, Chuck. I'm not flashy like that. I'm more of a practical kind of guy. I'm eyeing more of a second home in the Northeast. Now, I would spend money on a second home before I would ever spend money on a luxury car. Bugatti. Oh, nice. Puerto Rico. I'm probably looking back in New York where I grew up, but that's not for a couple years. My wife is in getting her doctorate right now, so that's going to be another 3 years. So we're not going anywhere or doing anything for 3 years. Yeah, I do have quite a few passive income. I do. Yep. I have large investment accounts. I sold a business for multiple seven figures, so that all that money is working for me. I invest in a lot of oh nice, Allie Jane. Mine was a social media agency. We did some design work, but it was mostly copywriting and posting to social media, content creation. I sold it to an investment company. They were buying all these different types of marketing agencies that specialized, and then they turned it into a big conglomerate. So they bought a social media agency, a texting agency, a website agency that were all like the best in their category. And then they put them all together. And I had a clean exit. I only had to stay on for 3 months. And then I walked. I had 40 employees. It was awesome. So I got so lucky. I think it's there's luck in that too. I'm not gonna pretend. It was all me. Things worked out real nice. Just sometimes you get lucky. It was a good time. I was in the market at the right time, the right person, and it was probably the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life, is selling a business. See if I could send you a picture, show you guys a picture. There's one picture. That was a Christmas party, our biggest Christmas party. ever. It's huge. Hard to find. Nice, Nabil. Love it. Enjoy the book. Yeah, back to VWAP here. But the volatility has really slowed down, right? These candles are real small now. So yeah, this is a company photo, 2019. Had quite the workforce. All young people, of course. It was social media. What do you expect? This is a rooftop in West Palm Beach. Here I am at the end there. Seems like another lifetime ago. All right, what's next? Life before the sickness. Yeah. I was like the oldest person at like 40 years old. Everybody was like in their 20s and 30s. It was fun. All right, I can give it another 15 minutes here. We're back at this cluster F area. Yep, 12:30, J. Scott. 12:30 is going to be group coaching. 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the classroom for premium Discord. Dave, I was trading the 150Ks. I had 5 150Ks. For an extra $500, you can trade the 150Ks over the 50s. An extra $500 for an extra $12,000 in drawdown. So, you know, moves like this, pullbacks like this are a good example of why it can be really tough to trade waiting for confirmation. And whereas first touch scalps are better, we'll go over this in group coaching. But on its way down, this thing is clearly, barely bouncing. So if you're waiting for confirmation, oh, I have confirmation, you're buying right here, and guess what? You're trapped. Nice one. Glad you're enjoying the book, guys. Put a lot of work into that book. So, and it's been getting such a great feedback on it. Hopefully it's one that will stand the test of time. I don't see why not. It's not like time sensitive. It's not trendy or nice FX swing. I would love a review, Ali. Thank you so much. You know, that's the best thing you guys can ever do is write a review. Tell other people about your experience. As a creator and a writer, that's the biggest way you can thank somebody. Letting other people know that you liked it. Yep. Very grindy now. Things seem to be settling down here. So, you know, we're still in the distribution from the last 3 days. Yeah, good idea, Jay Scott. Let's do a little check-in. How's everybody trading today? I had a great day. I locked in my $11,000 plus payout, and I passed a take profit trader evaluation, which is now a pro account, 50K. Actually, it does cover, it covers psychology, but it also not as deep on psychology. I think what's more important, it covers the idea of having conviction in your system, to be able to take your setups and understand how you trade and why it's successful, and how your discretionary edge is what needs to be developed and sharpened. And you'll have just having faith in your system and your ability as a trader, in my opinion, is already a big fix on your psychology. I think a lot of what we attribute to poor psychology is actually not having total confidence or faith in either your trading ability or your system. Because you know, if you just trade your system and do what you're supposed to do, you're going to make money. So why not just do that? But we want to tinker with everything. We want to change things, second guess ourselves, instead of just trading how we know how, or how we're learning to know how. Nice, Carlos. Thank you, Juan. I really appreciate that. And Juan, that was based on my experience. I've gotten some trading books, and I love trading books. I have a whole shelf filled with trading books. I love buying them. Some of them I literally can't read. They're just so dry and boring. You know, they're fun to like thumb through and look at, but like I can't sit down and read it. The idea with the book is to create a book that is educational and formal, but also you can sit down and read and enjoy it. Like some of those books, they have great information, but like I can't, it's not readable. It's just not readable. It's like a textbook. Who sits down and reads a textbook? Nobody. Sunny knows. And I have all of them. I spent a lot of money on them. They look great on my shelf. I bought all the hard copies, the whole set. Every once in a while, I'll pull it down and sit in bed and thumb through it and then put it back on the shelf. The best part is the intro, where it's actually something you can read. After that, it's like, what? I did, yeah. That read like a good book, Sonny. That read like a real book that I could sit down and read. That's why it was good. Sonny and I are going to go out and meet Tom Hogard in October. We're going to be in Los Angeles. If anybody wants to join us, we're going to the Friendly Bear Conference. Tom Hogarth, David Capablanca. We got Austin Silver. Bunch of trader speakers. That's an old picture of Tom, huh? What is he? Is that 20 years ago? Why would you use that? So it's October 10th, 2025 in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles. It's going to be a good time. Awesome, Roadrunner. Yeah, just follow the system, man. The levels are good. You know, not every trade's going to work out, but yeah, and the LA is especially far from the UK, isn't it? As far as a Florida meetup, that's in the probably the near future, the next couple months, maybe this winter. I was thinking about doing something in Orlando where everybody can easily fly in, and then we can rent like a hotel area where we can bring laptops and trade and go out to dinner and do stuff like that. Before December, maybe before December, could be, maybe November. Yeah, Bangkok is quite far from Orlando. That's exciting. In Reno, huh? Is that also like you're planning on to be like a vacation home or like an Airbnb as well, or what's your plan behind that? 'Cause I can't imagine you can make it out to Reno from the UK that often. That's kind of a trek. So the slow bleed continues, but again, we're still in the distribution. So we're traversing the entire distribution, right? The value area low is going to be 892. We're well on our way now. Ah, house, house in Reno. I was thinking Reno in Nevada, like by Las Vegas. Okay, well that would be value area low right here. If we're going to stay in balance, you know, obviously we can get some excess price first. We can go like this. And the cellaring seems to be accelerating, doesn't it? Who was it, JD? Hey, Mohammed. So Mohammed says, any comment on why price bounced back up after the drop? The continuing jobless claims, core PPI, initial jobless claims, the PPI were positive. The price jumped back. Why? I mean, we can't explain everything. You know, there could be, you know, there's things that work that we'll never understand in the market. All we can do is follow the volume, trade the chart. You know, as day traders, I'm not as concerned about why or what. Now, I do have long-term investments, but I'm holding those for a long period of time. So I think the people that have the biggest problem is the swing traders. Yeah, JD. So yeah, JD's thought was this was just a squeeze before they drop it hard. I was just mentioning what your comment earlier. Right. So is this the long spot? I'll take a little nibble there. Well, that worked. It's a quick 40 ticks. Yeah, the system allows us to not be concerned with the why. At least that's the way, absolutely. It doesn't really matter. And the other nice part is like we don't need a whole lot of pre-market analysis or anything like that too. I mean, I can draw up my levels in literally a couple of minutes. And if I'm just trading one market. Now, if I'm trading multiple markets, that's a lot more work. But, to get ready to trade NQ, it takes me, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes to sit down, analyze the chart, see where we're at, and spot my levels and decide what I want to look for. Now, then that can change. So this is the low volume node I was watching. This could be the back test of it. I don't know if it trades right back through it, but this could theoretically be the short spot before lower. But it seems it might be a bit early. Nice. So that was a back test. So we melted right through the low volume node, and this would be the back test of it. So we melted through, back test. Now it could just be a small reaction before we go higher too. You're welcome, FX. Reminder, we have group coaching in an hour. I'm gonna log off now because I have to eat something, and then we're gonna have group coaching at 12:30 in an hour. I'm done trading. So if you're gonna keep trading, manage your risk, stay sharp. You can head on over to the trading lounge. You can share your mic, share your screens, collaborate with your other VWAP Wave System traders, see what kind of setups start to materialize. If you're newer, feel free to ask questions. There's a lot of people in that room who would be more than happy to help and explain things. So if you guys want to see 12:30 in about an hour, we're going to be in the classroom doing a group coaching session. I have some material prepared, and we'll enjoy that. So manage your risk out there, guys. Stay sharp. I'll see you in group coaching at 12:30, and on YouTube, we'll be back at it tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the Discord, we'll be live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For anybody in the YouTube wants to join for a free trial, there's a link in the description of this video. Have a great day, guys. See you in a little bit.